What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Let's just get into it. Today, or at least today I found out, I think it's when it was actually released, they flagged in 2009 $1 billion in suspicious funds by Jeffrey Epstein after he had died. Now, this was during Donald Trump's reign. So that literally means that under his reign, not necessarily him, but at least his people knew that worked for his office, whoever's the head of DOJ or the FBI, if that was Christopher Wray or if that was, forgot the other guy's name, it come to me on top of my head, but the head of DOJ at the time, they had to have known. To know that $1 billion over 4,700 transactions happened after he was found dead. You have to know, and again, if you're worth your weight in actually doing investigations in which the DOJ would be the cream of the crop, I would think, you would have easily been able to subpoena, find out where these 4,700 transactions came from, those sanctions on banks or whatever to make sure you could find out, especially seeing as how you guys were screaming at the top of your lungs about the Democrats being, a part of this cabal at that time. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, all you guys were screaming about at the time. You weren't in office. Donald Trump was in office, but you guys weren't necessarily working there. So you guys weren't bitching and moaning at the fact. And even after 2019, when Joe Biden was there, you never mentioned once. This information was known throughout their group of people. We're just not finding out about it. So my question to Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, Cockeye Kash Patel, is did you know about this? Because you were on the inside. You knew about things that they spoke to you about. You were Donald Trump's little whipping boys. So you didn't know that 4,700 or more transactions worth of over $1 billion transacted when after he was found dead? Sounds like somebody was trying to get their money out. Sounds like somebody like, hey, give me my cash because your boy dead. It's gonna all lead back to us. Let's get our money out of this thing. Which would mean somebody else had to have control of his money. He didn't have a wife. He had a brother, but it doesn't seem like his brother had any access. I'm not 100% sure. He had a will. Did you know that a couple days before Jeffrey Epstein was found dead, he signed a new will? Signed a new will. 2 or 3 days later, he's dead. Went through the whole process. It doesn't take like a minute to do a new will. It takes a minute. It don't take like just 1 minute. It takes a while. Right? You got to go through the whole process. Remember, you got to think a billionaire has a crap ton of stuff in his will. Right? He creates a new one. Wouldn't that kind of flag something? Wouldn't you be looking at that new will? Especially if it's going to go to somebody, executor of some sort. Maybe he spoke to that person before he unalived himself and changed the will over to somebody else to have power. The families that gave him money, the Wexler, and it's another group, another guy, I can't remember his name at the top of the dome, were some of the people who gave him property and money at the very beginning. Where are they at? I don't know. Wexler may be dead. I mean, he was older than him to begin with. So Wexler, yeah, Les Wexler. Is he still alive? They don't have a death date. He's 88 years old. So Wexler got some of this money, which he was the one who gave him all the money to begin with. He gave him the $77 million home. It's kind of weird. But he was one of the 4,700 transactions. The other gentleman was well. And who else was? Was Donald Trump a part of this transaction of these billions of dollars? Did any money go to him? Do we know that or not? I don't understand why. We just found this out. I think it was one of the places. I can't say LA Times, but I heard it from, I would say MSNBC. Someone was talking about it, and they got it from the news source. I don't know if it was them or Axios. But it was just some of the wildest things that, a man dies and $1 billion transacts after his death. Now, hold on for a second. Now, I remember that they said he had an account that transferred $1 billion or more while he was alive. And there was this was years ago, and the banks just said, just let it pass, overlooked it. Now we're hearing that they overlooked it because they thought it was possibly a fraud situation. They didn't overlook it once. They overlooked that shit over and over and over and over again. Because those transactions of $1 billion or so, 4,700 transactions, right after he died. These banks overlooked $1 billion multiple times. And if you and I were to win the lottery and wanted to put in $10,000, it would raise flags. You would get a call from whichever department gives the call for that. You would get a call by the government and make sure that that's real. Some banks won't even take your money until you validate that you got it from a legitimate source. They don't want to be part of no frauds. So you got to give them like what job you make, your last pay stubs, just to see if you really traffic in this type of cash. And they let a man billions of dollars go through. Same dude has been doing this forever as the same dude who was trafficking in children. And you knew this from 2008, yet you still banks allowed a man who had been convicted of well, he wasn't child sex trafficking because they let that go. It was prostitution of a child. But they made it sound like it was just a girl, but it was a child. And let him go home and on weekends, I guess he can't go to jail, but he would go to work, molest a child, come back to jail. I don't get this, yo. Right? So this man gets to do that, and $1 billion transactions after he dies, which means this was going on before he dies. Whatever bank he was dealing with should see a fine, or better yet, should be shut down. You allowed fraud to happen over and over and over to the tune of billions. Yet if anybody in here has a question of fraud, your money gets frozen. Let you put $100,000 in after selling a home or whatever, and someone put that money in the bank. They think that you're doing something nefarious. Your cash is frozen like that. You can't take shit out of it. And that could be as little as $10,000 they could do that to you. And your money is gone until you could prove that you're not a drug dealer. That you're not into child sex trafficking. If you ain't doing something illegal, where your job at? They allowed Jeffrey Epstein with no job. All like Tommy on Martin Lawrence. You ain't got no job, fool. What you doing? You don't have an education. You don't have a license to trade nothing. How you trading $1 billion without a license to trade? That should look like a fraud on everybody's bank book. Any account. Wait a minute. You don't have. You got to show us. I remember going to a bank when I started a business, and they wanted everything but my fucking underwear. I had to prove that I was really in business, transactions and so forth. You mean to tell me a man was transacting $1 billion a month And you didn't so much as tell him, you know what, sir, you're going to have to prove that this isn't nefarious. You kept it moving. So why aren't those banks closed? Because if they allowed him to do it, can you imagine what these other people who are billionaires, I'm sure, as well as him, who were giving him this money? You don't think they had $1 billion or 500 million going in and out of an account? Just like he was, the money had to go to and from somewhere, correct? Somebody had to give him $300 million or whatever it may be. And then he take it. And then he transacted it somewhere else. That looks way shady. That your bank account goes from $1 billion to zero every month. Not so much to look into him and say, oh, wait a minute. He was caught having sex with a child. Maybe he's child sex trafficking. We can't take his account no more. Nope, didn't do it. So when they look at all these people and the ladies who are survivors of Epstein, those bankers knew. Those bankers knew what he was doing. There's no way in hell they don't. Hell, like I said, when I had a business with certain banks, not all banks did this, but with certain banks, one bank, I couldn't even get money put into it. I invested in my own business, 75 G's. Invested into it. Boom, was going to put it into the bank. Bank wouldn't take my money. Thought it was a fraud. I'm like, look, this is my cash. This is what, look at, wouldn't take it. Thought I was some kind of fraudster. $1 billion. You didn't think he was doing anything in fraud. You didn't question it. Yeah, those banks were behind it. Just like the banks were behind the slave trade, they were behind this child sex trafficking. It's deeper than you think. They had to have known all this money going through. They had to have known. Because these people weren't buying anything. It wasn't like a transaction of, oh, I'm going to get this and buy a house, and there's a transaction. Money's just going back and forth in the account. Bow, 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 back and forth every month. That's not how this country works, but obviously it does for the rich. It doesn't work that way for us. Let you have 10,000 going in and out of your account every month. That shit won't last 3-4 months before they be like, what are you doing? Just 10,000 going in and out, in and out, in and out. Your account will close and they'll be like, look, we don't know what you're doing, but come and get your money. we can't actually deal with, no, we thank you, but this looks shady. Your account will be closed. And this man did it with $1 billion. One account. Not a shit ton of accounts, y'all. One account. $1 billion every month. One account. They can't even insure that kind of money. Banks only insure up to 250 G's or something like that. So you got $1 billion going back and forth. You can't insure it. What if the bank called and what if the government called and say, hey, this doesn't look good. You need to check that out. Now, why isn't the government literally getting at these banks and say, well, you're getting something off the top because this looks shady? You know how many times banks have ripped us off? I don't know if y'all remember back in the day. It was not too far long ago. There was every bank has pretty much done it. But Wells Fargo was creating accounts off of our accounts. Like if I had one account there in savings and one account in checking, they would create false accounts to put money in and out of. Under your name. You would have like 35 fucking hidden accounts. And you only had 2. But every time they created an account, the people were making money off of creating an account. That was the banks doing that shit. To the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. Did they close down the bank for being, infested with fraud? No. They let it keep going. They had to pay like some kind of restitution, but they just keep figuring out ways to cheat. Every other year, it's some bank that has done something nefarious. The reason we had to bail them out last time, nefarious actions. Every few years, it's like they count on, like the government can count on it like clockwork for banks to be fraud, but the American people let you do that. $10,000 a month. It's a wrap. This game is rigged for us. That shit is just, they should be held accountable for that. Because they allowed the trafficking to go on. You can't tell me as bankers and you see accounts with pluses and minuses that are extraordinary, yet you're looking at $10,000 a month and you're like, oh, something's off of that. You see $1 billion a month and you do nothing. You had to look past that a bunch of times because your systems would have flagged that. Not even you. Your computer system would have flagged that. Individuals had to say, bypass that. And those people should be held accountable for that. And the bank should be held accountable for that. Because they should be charged for being a part of this entire ring. They knew something was going on. And it didn't take nothing but to look up the person, like, oh, he was messing around with children. And automatically know you fucked up. But no consequences for the rich. No consequences. Especially for the white rich. No consequences. Donald Trump ain't seen the inside of a jail cell. And what he's done, he should be buried under one of them. He shouldn't even be seeing the light of day. He should be in a place where it's just dark. And they feed him through a hole with all the shit he's done. And if he was any other race than a white male, that's where he would be. So they knew 2019, after he had died, that $1 billion was transacted. And they didn't even do an investigation that we know of to find out where this money was going, knowing what he had done and what they were charging him with and what he was in jail for. They let him get his arrears in shape. He literally got a lawyer come there, did all this other stuff to get his stuff situated, all that. A child sex trafficking pedophile that was a white male and rich got preferential treatment. Not once, but more than once. They knew what this man was doing in 2008 and still let it go on. Yeah, Alice Early. The only person, well, two people, Ghislaine Maxwell, who should be in the harshest prison instead of this little Club Fed crap, and Prince Charles or King Charles just took the prince, I don't know what you would call it, princedom, away from Andrew, Prince Andrew. He's no longer a prince. And because this, what's her name? Can't get her name right. I always mess it up. But Virginia Giuffre. Because of her book, more came out. She got the picture with him and everything like that. They've been chopping his status down. Just chopping it down. That's what it should look like. That's what it should look like. Everybody like him should be getting chopped down right now. Thank you, Final on Fire, for the donation, for the memberships. They should be getting chopped down right now, one by one by one by one. Prince Andrew should be the first domino if that's the case, and or Andrew, not Prince. He's just like me. My name's Andrew. Andrew, the other Andrew, his ass is just normal, just regular now, and it's gone, all because this man had affinity to be a pedophile. Had everything going for him. And he had to mess with kids. And he should not be the only one. Ex-Prince, the was it the Prince formerly known, or the artist, or was it the royal formerly known as Prince Charles, Prince Andrew, he should go on a world tour because he know who was there. He knew at these parties. He was there. He knew who was doing the dirt like him. He should just go on a tour. Make you some money real quick. The royal person formerly known as Prince Andrew. Go out there and get your little book going on. Get you a little, a writer to write everything. Just sit your ass in a chair and just tell all. And then when you tell all, sell your book, you'll make a grip. You'll live off the rest of your life, however you are, how old you are, rich as you don't know what, because the world would read that book in a heartbeat. People who can't even read will be reading that book. That book will be written in Braille. People who are blind would be, Stevie Wonder would be all up in it. Everybody would read that damn book. Now, would they buy it? Might be a whole different story. They might buy one book and pass it around to everybody. But regardless, you would have a best-selling book. So you might want to go ahead and do that since the United States is kind of like holding off, and you're the only like big person that's getting his ass like reamed because of it, and rightfully so. But you know what went on. It wasn't like he had a special party just for you. All you little pedophiles was hanging out and sharing stories about your escapades and all this nastiness shit y'all was doing. All of y'all was in there doing that. All of you had your stories to tell. Had your little pedophile anonymous just sitting around and I'm whatever and I'm a pedophile. And then you told your damn stories. You know y'all did. Got drunk and did all the shit. Y'all done told so much. So somebody knows the story. I don't understand why people keeping their mouth closed. Maybe because you scared you're gonna get caught. But Prince Andrew, you caught, bruh. So, or formerly, Prince Andrew, you caught. You might as well just let the cat out the bag. He's scared he's gonna turn up, just like Jeffrey Epstein. And who knows, losing everything he ever had, go from being a prince and all that, and to being a pauper. I don't know. I don't know what that might do. He might jump off a bridge himself. You never know with people. You just never know. But that's true that we need to find out more about these Jeffrey Epstein files. We need to find out where those billions of dollars were going to back and forth. You can't tell me you can't have a subpoena to find out from these banks where this money came from. What was the transaction? I know they send them overseas, and a lot of those places don't allow you to get into their documentation. But again, they do stuff through overseas. You guys know, FBI, DOJ, y'all know how this shit works. That's how you caught most of these high crime people, Enrons, and all these people in the back in the day, the mafia, mobs, and shit like that, and whatever crime families. That's how you caught them. You follow the money. Follow this money. I guarantee you it leads you back to Jeffrey Epstein, to Prince Andrew, formerly known as, to Donald Trump. I'm sure a bunch of other millionaires and billionaires. Oh yeah, and Elon Musk. I guarantee you it'll lead you to him too, because he was on those flight lists. So a lot of these people, we don't know exactly what they did there, but come on now. You can't tell me you didn't know what was going on. Like I said with other people, and I don't give them a pass either. People knew what R. Kelly was doing. They knew it. How the hell you be around a man, a grown-ass man, and he got a bunch of kids around him? You didn't know that shit, and a bunch of girls around him. You didn't know that shit. Bullshit. You was just looking like this because you had that paycheck coming this hand, and your eyeballs went over here. Don't lie. You were more a part of it just as much as he was. You saw it, did nothing about it. Not until after he gets caught, y'all all grew some hair on your balls and start talking. But before that, nada. Women too. You saw it. You did nothing. You allowed these girls to get harmed that was hanging around them. Nobody gets a pass. Y'all saw this shit and did nothing. The check was more important than the children. You may not like what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is factual. Yeah, I don't think he has security anymore. Once his the part of being a prince is gone, you got to pay for your own security. That's the same way that happened to what's the other prince's name? Not his son, his redhead son, the one that's married to the young black lady. Yeah, don't get to their names. And I don't get into the prince and kingly stuff, so I don't really try to remember any of those people's names. But yeah, the redhead one, he had to get his own security. They threw his security off because he dared just to want to be with the black woman and not, he wanted to take care of her instead of walking around and doing this shit. Hey, I'm royalty because my family killed a lot of people and took their jewelry. Yeah, and their stuff. That's why I'm royalty. He didn't want to do that no more. Ain't nothing else special about you? Nope, not at all. Not at all. We got gangly teeth, most of us, but other than that, nope. Got the same breath as my dad. That's about all. That's about it. Was it that's capitalism? Don't know what the fuck y'all was going to. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, the next thing that was going down today, free and get release the Epstein files. Don't free nobody. Put everybody in jail if you can. The thing we dealt with today, the judge, come on now, the judge literally said Prince Harry. Thank you, Vera. You said Harris. I'm like, wait a minute. That's Kamala Harris. I'm like, okay, I get it. Harry, I got you. I was slow. I got it. But the judge, actually two of them, ordered Trump and his minions to give the contingency funds to the people of the SNAP. I mean, there's $5 billion. It normally costs, I think, $9 billion. It at least give Americans, half the month pay. I think they get paid they get every month. They get a payment every month, so they might get half. Half their money if they're getting. The lady said something about they normally the average is $152 a month. They may be able to get 90 or whatever the heck, but that's better than nothing. They have to give this money up. That's what it's for. You built this contingency for this actual reason. And what did Donald Trump say? He wants, oh yeah, I'll give it to you. I think we should be able to give it. First of all, he said that if the courts were going to allow to do it, yeah, I'll give it to him. Of course, I'll give it to him. Then the court said, yeah, you must give it to him. And then he kind of stepped back and was like, you know what? I don't know. We got to check with the law and make sure that everything, they already did check with the law. That's what a court is all about. What the fuck you talking about? But that's the kind of shit he was doing. He put out a truth statement. I don't know why we call it truth. You should call this shit lie statement. He put out a lie statement. And let's see if we can read this. It's all small print for me here. All right. Our government lawyers do not think we have the legal authority to pay SNAP with certain monies we have available. And now two courts have issued conflicting opinions on what we can and cannot do. He's saying our government lawyers. This thing working? Yeah. Fuck your government lawyers. The law comes from the court, not your lawyers. Your lawyers argue to the judge and to the courts, and the courts make the final decision, you dip twat. All right. So, anyway, sorry I got all loud on me, but it gets on my fucking nerves, dude. Just some of the dumbest shit. Our government lawyers say, I don't care what your government lawyers, these little nitwits you put around you, they're not real lawyers. They play one on TV. They could win a case if you gave them all the evidence. I said, I do not want Americans to go hungry, then just give up the food. Then why we even have to go to court for it if you don't want to go hungry? I mean, you got, what's his name's Josh something, Hawley. Josh Hawley. You know, the dude that was running during January 6th, running the halls, head all the way back. If a fucker was flying across it, he was scared shitless, right? He's up in the air with that shit, right? This dude, that guy who sat there and still voted for Donald Trump to be president if they can try and halt it after all that running around, probably crapping his pants. You know, he changed his underwear. He was spotting a little bit. And so that guy has written a bill alongside some liberal, quasi-liberal type of guy. I don't know what his name is. They haven't really given us his name. They just said the person was a liberal. But he co-wrote, and it was mostly his. He just had this other guy sign on with it. A bill to be able to give the people the SNAP. Hey, let's do this. We can sign this. We can do this. No. The leadership in the Republican Party is like, nope, we ain't doing it. It's like one of your own loyalists is literally trying to throw a bone here because of why? Because his constituents. This is the thing that kills me about this, people. And I know my people know, but just in case anybody hasn't heard me speak before. I love all people. It ain't got nothing to do with this, but I call the balls and strikes, everything. I call it all. I don't hold back. I'm just straight facts, okay? Josh Hawley represents a bunch of white people. And guess what? In his state, there's a lot of them on welfare. And so his constituents are telling him, bitch, we going hungry. And that shit can't go. So if you don't take your little ass up out there and tell them you're going to do something about it, we going to do some shit to you. I ain't going to say what I'm going to say because if I'd said it, I'd probably be in trouble. But anyway, they going to do something to him. He ain't coming back home unless he's bringing some food. You're going to have to feed the whole damn state when you come back. But don't bring your ass back unless you give us our money. And so Josh Hawley heard it loud and clear. It's my ass on the line, not the orange one. And he came back and he wrote something. Do you know how hard it had to be for this dude to write something? This is the dude that ain't did shit since he came there. You know, the whole white brigade of MAGA that has never fucking passed nothing, haven't even written anything, not even in crayon since they've been there. This dude came back and wrote something. I'm pretty sure somebody else wrote it, but he was sitting there like, hey, I need to dictate this. We need to create something quick because my people keep calling me and I'm getting death threats from people who love me. That was my mom. You feel me? And this fool is out here creating. I got a bill now. I got a little Latin. What's it? Not Latin. What is he? He's something. Hey, I got him to sign it. Look at him. I don't even know his name. What's your name again? All right. He signed it. You liberal? Yeah. Liberal signed it. There we go. Let's go. His people are like, nah, fuck that. Be like, what? Man, what I done got hooked myself up to? These damn Republicans are worthless. And he's sitting out here fighting for his life to get them to listen. I mean, I never thought in my lifetime that me and MTG would ever agree on anything. And she ain't just agreeing, she's sticking to her guns. All while saying, I support my president. But fuck this. You know what I'm saying? We got to do something. Then she's making fun of Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson ain't doing his job. Just ain't happening. And I'm like, y'all should have one of those moments where you kind of like get rid of the speaker again, like you did before when you had the gang of idiots. I don't know what y'all was called. You and Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz and the other insignificant people you hung out with that decided to take 1,500 times before y'all picked him. But yeah, y'all need to get back together, put that party back together and say, we gotta get rid of this fool. He ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing. You gotta get rid of him. Let's replace him. At some point, y'all gotta look at it and say, the country is more important than your party. I mean, you can't be a representative or congressman or senator forever. You got to end it sooner or later. So you might as well grow a pair and fight now, and just maybe you might win another time where people are like, okay, you give a damn about America. Or just maybe they throw your ass out. Either way it goes, at some point in time, they're going to throw your ass out. It's either now or later. You leave with dignity now. Later, they're going to drag your ass out. And you're seeing a few of them kind of like actually grow a pair. Who knew? The MTG was the first one that's going to be growing a pair. Well, actually, I think she was the second. There's another one that came before her. Was it Tillis? Yeah, I think it was Tillis. But anyway, we're going to continue down this path of what he had to say. I do not want Americans to go hungry just because the radical Democrats refuse to do the right thing and reopen the government. Therefore, I have instructed our lawyers to ask the court to clarify how can we legally fund SNAP as soon as possible. They already said to do it. The hell you mean you're gonna ask them again? This is the grifting and the projection of stupidity. Dude, all you gotta do is tell your people to release the funds. They'll go about doing it the way they're supposed to do it. You don't need to understand it because you know damn well you don't even understand how you use the restroom by yourself. You don't even quite understand. I guarantee you this man doesn't make it to the toilet. I promise you that. I promise you that. It still don't shoot straight. You know damn well his shit's shooting toward the ceiling. And he think it's just right. Wonder why. Pee in the air. What's that all about? This fool think he pointing down, pointing up. You know that's where he's at right now in his life. You know it. And why do you need to understand what's going on other than to say release the cash? And that's it. You got to understand it. And his minions will be like, yeah, Donald Trump doesn't understand jack, yo. So why you going to sit here and say he needs to understand now? He doesn't understand. He won't understand. Only thing he understand is giving him gifts, power, and money. That's it. That's all he talks about. That's all he wants. You have never seen that man love anybody. You ain't never seen that man hug anybody. You ain't never seen that man kiss nobody. You ain't never seen that man do anything but tap other leaders on the hand because he's so happy to be right next to them. And they look annoyed like, why is this fool tapping me? You okay? What the fuck is wrong with you? And he's all giddy. Slapping somebody's hand. He did it to Putin. He did it to the President Xi. I don't think he did it to the woman who just became the president, or not president, but the leader of Japan. I don't think he did it to her. But she led him around like a wounded puppy. This fool would walk around that little rectangle, lost. I mean, lost, y'all. This man had no clue. And had she left the room, this dude would have kept going in circles. All he was doing was following the dude doing this. And he would stop and stare, salute, and move on. It's like, you're saluting the band, bro. What's that all about? What was that about, Trump? It's like, somebody say 25th Amendment, please. 25th Amendment. Keep saying it. Please, please. Make a chant out of it. 25th Amendment. I think next time we have one of these kings, y'all need to throw the 25th Amendment as a chant. Find something to rhyme with 25th so it sticks in people's head. Not too many words. Few words, but it ends with something. Plead the 25th or something. Y'all got it. Y'all love these chants, things like that. All right. Because he said, therefore, I have instructed our lawyers to ask the court to clarify how we can legally fund SNAP as soon as possible. It is already delayed enough due to the Democrats keeping the government closed through the monthly payment date. And even if we get immediate guidance, it will unfortunately be delayed while states get the money out. If we are given the appropriate legal direction by the court, it will be my honor to provide the funding. So they got to teach you how to give money out. She said release the cash. And now you got to ask them how. Didn't you surround yourself with people with merit? You're asking them how to do their jobs. So the judge is supposed to give you like a ABC 1, 2, 3. See, A, get said money. B, release said money. C, your way out of the presidency, you dipshit. The fuck you talking about? Figure out how to give out money the same way you gave it out before, you dumbass. The difference. Whew. This is just insane. Insane. It would be my honor to provide the funding just like I did with military and law enforcement pay. Just like I did with military and so you gave the military and law enforcement money and you're asking them how to do it for the people, but you already don't figured it out for the military and law. Boy, he's asking how to do something he already did. Not for one group of people, for two groups of people. So the third group is harder. The Democrats should quit this charade. He spelled charade right. Wow. Where they hurt people for their own political reasons and immediately reopen the government. If you use SNAP benefits, call the Senate Department, the Democrats, and tell them to reopen the government. Now, here is Crying Chuck Schumer's office number. He can't do it by himself. It's called negotiations. They're trying to leverage people who are hungry. Americans. Trump is trying to leverage you. While Democrats are fighting so that your health care doesn't grow astronomically high. So Donald Trump is holding you guys hostage over your SNAP funds. And I get tired of, Republicans, some Democrats, and these, pundits and all this shit like that talking about it, somehow saying it's a Democrat thing. I'm like, okay, let's just go down your idiotic scenario real quick, okay? Let's say the Democrats go right now and say, you know what? We want to help everybody and we want to give everybody food, okay? All right, good. All right, here we go. We're going to sign on to this, which literally means your health care is going to shoot up 2 to 3 times that no matter what. Right? It's going to go up. Boop. And then after I sign it, you're going to get your food. Okay? So now you got food, average $157 a month. Average $157 a month. Now you got that food addition, right? 157, and your health care is going to go up to 3,000. 157. 3,000, and you literally think Democrats are trying to save you $3,000 a month. They're saying we're going to do something for you for $150 a month. Boy, if you don't get the fuck out of my face talking about you want your damn your SNAP when you about to go broke and get sick, ain't gonna be able to have nobody take care of you. You really think that's a tit for tat? That's the same thing. You really think that? You are slow. Very slow. To think that $157 a month over here, $3,000 a month. Depending on where you're at, though. You know what I'm saying? Some may be, if you were paying $100, you're paying $200 or $400 or $600 now. Some people who were paying that an actual family. Now I know they had statistics, but an actual family. And I think it was Ro Khanna, Ashley K said this earlier today. The one who's fighting for, alongside with Tillis fighting alongside him for the Epstein files for the survivors. That brother, he reported today actual family, not just statistics. And the family makes $85,000 a year as a family. And they're paying, I think he said, I got the number off. I think he said $14,000 more per year. Could you fucking imagine that? You make $85,000. That ain't mean your take-home pay. They go off of gross. So you making $85,000, probably bringing home about $62,000. Now you got $14,000 for your family of healthcare, and it used to be $500. Boy. Somebody, I'm gonna fight somebody if I gotta do that. We fighting. Me and somebody got a brawl. If you talking about taking $14,000 out of my pocket every year because you decide. You decide. that you want to save money to give rich people's. Boy, rich people got enough money as it is. They don't need no tax cuts. They got enough money to live off for the rest of their fucking life. They don't need tax cuts. Human beings like us, the 60% of Americans who live paycheck to paycheck, you might want to give them something, but a billionaire? Oh, hell no. They got money when everybody else is broke. They're trying to get tax cuts by squeezing the American citizen out of more money so they can give it to the rich. What kind of deal with the devil is this shit? Break the American citizen so you can make rich people, astronomically rich people, just out of the stratosphere rich. And they don't create any jobs for us. They just go to AI and get robots to do our job. I mean, how often are you going to sell yourself down this river? MAGA, how long are you going to keep? When do you have to realize they don't care about you? Does it really have to be? Because you're already losing some of your farms, some of your cattle or whatever you sell, you're losing that. Soybeans, half of what you're selling ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because the rest of this year, they're going to get 12 million metric tons, which you used to get 26. So you're going to get less than half of what you got before. And therefore, you got an abundance of shit that's just going to have to go to waste because they ain't going to be able to buy as much from you anymore. And then the following year, 25 million metric tons, and that's 1 million less than the minimum you got before. You went from 25 to up to 40 in some situations, million metric tons in certain years. Now they're talking about giving you 25. And that's more like a max 3 years from now. Well, next year, the year after that. I thought this dude was supposed to be able to like negotiate. I promise you, the dumbest person in your family could have did a better job in negotiating than that. Pick them. I don't care who it is. Whatever it is, I don't care because the person's just too young and they dumb, they don't know shit. I promise you, a fifth grader would have did better at negotiating. Try to negotiate with a fifth grader about something they like. I don't care what it is. Ice cream. Negotiate with them. I promise you that kid will fuck you up with negotiation. I promise you. If he wanted bad enough, he'll bring up everything mom and dad don't ever did bad. Dad, what was you looking at? Those pictures the other day? Boy, what picture you talking about? What you talking about? What kind of ice cream you want? Boy, take the whole thing. Quick. Donald Trump, the kid came out, got a whole thing of ice cream. Not a bowl, the whole thing. Donald Trump goes, gets on, let me negotiate, comes back, I got 12 million. How much do we have before? 26. That's a negotiation, you dipshit. You gave up half, boy. What else? What'd you get? 25 for 3 more years. Really? When we had 26 to 40. Who taught you how to negotiate? Boy, you don't get your ass up out the presidency trying to act like you know how to negotiate. That was the dumbest thing ever. Threw on tariffs for no reason. We was already up. We was winning. Our tariffs was like 3%. We were winning. Everybody came to us. This fool threw on tariffs, and now China don't even need us. They can go to Argentina. They don't create deals with people they didn't even like. Japan, North Korea, or not Korea, South Korea. They don't built the pact and shit. They don't got together and say, you know what? Orange people, we stick with our own kind. You know, we all kind of cool. We got some past that's kind of fucked up, but you kind of look like my brother. Let us do some work. Now they working together. We didn't. Donald Trump don't put enemies together. And shit they was buying from us, they buying from each other. Wow, what a great job. Negotiator for the fucking century. And he'll pat himself on the back for fucking up. And his minions, they don't know. Look, he got 12 million. How much we had before? Don't matter. We got 12 million because we had 0. He took you from 26 to 0. And then took you up to 12 and you're like, we winning. Okay. Jesus Christ. It's just outrageous. Outrageous, yo. Why do we have these people? We got to pass a test, y'all. Democrats, y'all ever get in office again, and hopefully you sensible Republicans, we got to have a test of just common fucking sense before you go. Everybody want to get if you're a citizen and all this other shit. No, we need to know if you too damn stupid to put on your own underwear straight. I promise you, there are a lot of MAGA out there got their underwear on backwards. I promise you. And I promise you it's been that way their entire life. They think it's on straight. I promise you. Because this shit right here, woo, that's just too stupid. That it's unfathomably dumb to think that somebody's winning when they're losing. And don't get me on this fool trying his best to expose our nuclear power. I want to come back because everybody else doing it. They're doing it because they're trying to show that they got power. Because they're trying to be like us. We don't have to show it because we own it. We're the only ones that's ever shot like a nuclear weapon and blew up Japan. Hello? Everybody's afraid of that. You don't need to prove nothing, bruh. We already don't prove that we crazy as fuck. So why do you need to go out there and prove that some of our weapons are not going to work? You're going to find a dud here and there. That's just going to happen. With anything, there's going to be a dud here and there. And so we're going to go out there and shoot weapons just for his vanity so he can sit there and say, look at us, President Xi. Look at us, Erdogan. Look at that. Look what we can do. And then what's going to happen? Shh, dud. Yeah, look what you can do, bruh. He shot 3 weapons that didn't even work. Look like America is not that good at what they say they could do. We had the mystery and the myth and the fear. And now we got people talking shit about 3 weapons didn't work. Therefore, maybe America is not who they say they are. And then are we more safe? Are we in more trouble? Somebody's going to feel froggy when they see our weapons really not work. So why would you put yourself out like that when you're already at the top? You're winning. And you want to go out there and show them that you're losing sometimes? Who puts their own foot in their mouth? I mean, come on. We're already winning, bro. Everybody know our military will fuck up everybody. We don't have to prove nothing. They're doing this to prove things to themselves and to the rest of the world. The dude that doesn't have to brag is usually the dude that can kick some ass. Just learn. We don't have to play this little pussyfooting game that Donald Trump does because he always want to prove something to somebody. And we've already put in that work to prove. We don't have to prove nothing. We didn't need to do no pageantry, dancing and shit in front of everybody. You see how sad we look once they did that? American soldiers walking around there half-ass not want to do it, and they up there doing all crisp and shit and cutting shit and Ginsu, and they doing some crazy shit, and you be like, damn, they flipping, and the military, that's pageantry shit. What's that gonna do on the battlefield? I wish a mother would come on the battlefield marching like that. It'd be easy to take them all out. And Donald Trump sees strength in that. I see circuitry, and I don't mean like motherboards. I see a circus. I'm waiting to see a horse prancing. I don't see a strong military. I see a bunch of people dancing with guns. I'm waiting for somebody to sing in the cabaret. I'm not thinking about a military person walking and talking like that. I wouldn't be scared of a military person walking and dancing like that. Not to say that they aren't deadly. I'm just saying, you spend 6 months out of a year learning how to dance in unison. The fuck is that? And this dipshit can't figure that out. You spend 6 months out of the year to dance in unison. And he calls that power. This is why you don't give somebody who loves to see beauty pageants so much that he owned them so he can be a little child sex trafficker friend. He sees fun in this shit. Dancing and prancing around. That's not for our military. If you like that shit, quit being a president and go back to pageants where women throwing on bathing suits and dudes walking around and prancing. But That's what you want to see. Go back to that, Donald Trump. You and your YMCA loving ass. Go back and watch that shit. But don't turn our military into a bunch of people who just basically are pulling off, pageantry military. These men and women don't want to do this shit. They didn't go there to prance around for Americans. They went there to protect us. That's all we want them to do. Protect. Live their lives. Family. Get perks for doing the shit. Dancing around, man. Shit bothers the hell out of me, man. They did too much. These people don't put too much of their life on the line for us to be coming back here prancing in front of us. Man, that's degrading. You didn't sign up for that shit. Maybe you can start a corps of dancing military people that never go to the military. They just dance. Maybe you can do that shit. You created the Space Force. Create Dance Force so they can go around and prance around and make happy. Fuck is wrong with these weird ass people? Nobody wants to see that crap. And if you do, maybe you're gonna go pay for it. You sure as hell don't want to be doing it. Having your military people do it, they out here busting their butt for you, and you want to come out here and have them dancing and prancing around. That's why you didn't see them, and that's why on a global scale, it looked like America was like this lazy dance force military. And it's like, of course, we don't want to do it. It's great for your culture. Have a great time at it, but it's not ours. And the idiocy of thinking that how do you equate that anybody can do anything? This right here told you there was that he doesn't understand merit. No disrespect to other countries and what they do. But they didn't just join the military and know how to dance and prance like that. They do that every year. They practice it every year. Their leader could kill them if they do not get it right. So they're doing that shit out of fear, right? And I'm sure some people like the pageantry of it. But the idea that you could think that Americans are so good at everything that we're going to go out our first time and blow them out the water was the dumbest thing ever. That's literally like saying somebody who is an Olympic style runner, I'm just going to stole some dude that runs in the country from racist people trying to chase him. I'm saying, oh yeah, you get chased by white people every day? Yeah. All right, we're going to throw you in the Olympics. He ain't going to run that fast. Not unless you throw the KKK behind him, he might win. But other than that, it ain't going to happen. He ain't ready. This nut thought, I'm going to put regulars, my military people out there to do the same thing that these people have been doing for years. It'll work. No, you dipshit. And this right now, trying to do the same thing as everybody else. Military stuff. Let me do the same thing. Everybody else is doing it. They're doing it for... He want to be a dictator so bad. He wants the perks of the dictators. He calls them perks. When can we get people back that love America for what America is? And stop trying to be what other people are? There was once a time in history where people loved us so much that they left their own country to come here. Because they loved what we were doing. Not what they were being forced to do. They were free to do whatever they want to do. Buy their own flags and all that. Not be told when and how to marry and what to do in life. And not to tell you when you was born that you were going to always be a carpenter from the time you was a kid. When you really liked something else. You may like makeup. You can't do that because the country told you, your dad did horseshoes. You're a horseshoe guy. They left that shit. And Donald Trump's trying to turn it into that. And these dipshits that are MAGA don't even recognize because they're not smart enough to realize that they're losing their freedoms. The same people that gets mad whenever a Democrat comes in, they're taking my guns, they're taking my First and Second Amendment, blah, 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 blah. And Donald Trump's literally taking your First and Second Amendment away. And you're sitting here riding or die with the guy that's trying to take it all away. Not realizing that under a dictatorship, they can just take your guns. They don't want to be assassinated. So they take everybody's guns and they're the strongest. Nobody can fuck with them. You can't kill him ever or anybody in his family because you don't have any weaponry to do so. That's what dictators do. Why would a dictator want you to have a weapon? The way he's going to treat you, the way he's going to make your family starve, the way he's going to eminent domain your property. Yeah. He could literally go to your house and say, man, I love this place. I want to build something here. And literally kick you off of it in a dictatorship. Don't even have to buy it from you. Just wake up one day and arrest you, throw you in jail and take your property and build a hotel on it. You don't see these dire situations because you don't pay attention to history. You just play, you don't even play dumb. You're just dumb for real. You ain't playing one on podcasts or on TV. That's your real life. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can literally pick up a book. You can literally go and get a book to read to you. You just turn it on. It'll read itself. Just listen. With all the technology we got out there, you can educate yourself while you're using the restroom. You can educate yourself while you drive into whatever the hell you do. But just educate yourself and you'll see that this man is lying to you. And I'm talking about the ones who are just being stupid on stupid, like just being that way because you don't know any better. All the evil ones, they know what they're doing. But I'm trying my best to believe that tight 30%, y'all aren't all racist. You just have racist tendencies. And you may not know what's going on. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Start to read books. Start to listen, not to right-wing trash, but to actual facts. No matter whether it's Republican, liberal, whatever, just look for facts. Validate them with more than one source. And that'll be your North Star. You'll be able to figure out who's lying to you, whether it be Republican, independent, whatever. You'll be able to have a North Star of truth and facts and get your life on track. But this always believing in whoever makes you feel good. That's what got you in trouble. That's what's going to have you without food. That's what's going to have you lose your home. And then you're going to be wondering, what happened? And then you're going to get your heart broken because people like me are going to call you a dipshit and you can't fight your way out of it. It's going to be hurtful that you're being called these names, but it's the truth and you can't escape it. So you're going to have to run to your pappy over there, the one that's trying to destroy you, and see you can ride that little wave of destruction and stay alive. I doubt it. There are many people that believe in this man have died from COVID. Oh, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to wear a mask. Dead as a doornail. They believed in him. And each one of you guys are dying slowly. And your hatred is putting you through hell. If you ever found a way to love yourself and love others like you love yourself, you'd be in a better place. But you're here where you are now because of hatred. And that's on you. That is what put America in its place. Russia developed a bomb that sent a shockwave around Earth 3 times. Wow. I looked that up, man. I would definitely look that up. Write that down. All right. I would definitely look that up. Thank you, 5 on Fire. Thank you for the donation. So these are the things that we need to like be focusing on. Reminds me of Cindy Lou Who. Yeah, that chair back there. Everybody said that. Who I think it was for bed, but honestly, I'm not sure. Yeah, I forgot what it was, but everybody gives me that Cindy Lou Who, the Whoville. If you see the whole thing, it totally looks like Whoville. It does. I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, what else we have here? Oh, we got only got a couple more things I'm gonna do. I'm gonna skip on some of it. But we had the secretary. I don't know if you guys saw this. I'm sure you guys will learn it. So you guys pretty much see this. The Secretary of Agriculture. And she came out and spoke about SNAP. I'm guessing they're a part of what delivers this money or has something to do with this money in some way, shape, or form. Some kind of validating process. Well, she came out and spoke. And listen to what she says, and then Mike Johnson kind of jumps in to do his little petulant child shit.
Your government is failing you. If you are in a position where you can't feed your family and you're relying on that $187 a month for an average family in the SNAP program, that we have failed you.
Yes, you have.
And it's clarified. When she says we have failed you, she means we, the Democrats, okay?
She said we. She can't say we, the Democrats, if she's not one of them. I mean, it didn't even make any sense grammatically. She said we. She's incorporating you, her, and the Democrats. We, the government, is what she said. The government is failing you. Then Mike Johnson, with his little petulant little ass, comes out and says, he looks like a little puppet. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got their foot up his ass trying to make him speak. But this little puppet comes out and says, when we say we mean the Democrats. You can't be a we if you're not a part of it. We the people means all of us. We the people doesn't mean Democrats or Republicans, Christians or atheists. It means all of us. We includes us all. She did not say we the Democrats. She would have to be a Democrat. Man. Oftentimes you just sit back and be like, I can't be a genius. There's no way in hell. I don't believe it. But when stupid people are leaders, you feel smart as fuck. I promise you, you feel like I could probably go outside and fly. I mean, it's just, you just seem like you're leaps and bounds ahead of the stupidity. It's like, yo, you can't be this stupid. So if you're not this stupid, which I don't believe they are, they're evil. Think about it. What type of human being could look you in the face right now and tell a lie, an outright lie with a smile on their face? Not telling it just to you in a very intimate space. Like me and you sitting here and we talking and you say, Drew, I'm like, yeah, what's up? Am I fat? And I'll be like, as fuck. But so am I. It might hurt, but I told the truth. They said, hey, Drew, am I fat? Well, you know what? What is fat? Fat's just extra, meat on your bones. And but I don't think you're fat. Not at all. But just keep going on and on. You're actually thin compared to like the fridge from back in the day. Remember the fridge? William Perry from Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears. There you go, Chicago Bears. I mean, you just keep going on and on, lying your ass off. You're sitting there like, dude, are you like allergic to telling the fucking truth? This man literally looked into the camera and said, when she says we, she's talking about we the Democrats with a straight face. His point was to get up there and turn whatever she said into a lie, but look like it's the truth. That's some demonic shit. If you're a Christian, that's some devilish shit. To get up there and pretend like you just told the truth. And what is the benefit of telling that lie? It only benefits you. Doesn't benefit the people whom you represent. It doesn't benefit the Democrats whom you should be negotiating with. Doesn't benefit anybody but you and your party. Let me get out there and lie for my people. And your people are not your constituents. It's the other Democrats, other Republicans there. How evil do you have to be to lie to people who rely on you? They got to feed their families. They sent you here to tell the absolute truth. They don't trust politicians because you're just as bad as some car dealers back in the day, car salespeople. And when they put their faith in you, you lie to their face on purpose. You go on TV day in and day out. Did this happen? Nope. And you know it did. And not even a flinch, not even a tell for some of you. You have rehearsed lying since you came out the womb. You was thinking about a lie the moment you saw your mama. You popped out the vagina, you tried to think of a lie. That's you. It has to be in your DNA to be that much of a liar. You have practiced it. You love lying more than you love telling the truth. And that means you love yourself more than you love anybody else. And if that's the case, you are one devilish human being. That you can't be truthful so that other people can benefit. You have to lie. Whatever you got to do, you got to lie. If somebody you know won the lottery, but they gave you the money to buy the ticket, there's no way in hell you would give them the ticket. No, this was your ticket. You would cheat them. Your default is being a shitty human being. And you guys pretend to know Jesus. This is why I can't stand many Christians today. Because you will lie your ass off in the name of Jesus. That's these white nationalist Christians. I would have never thought in my lifetime I would have heard somebody say, and these white nationalists, Jesus was woke. So they don't like Jesus. But they're Christian. Shit don't make no sense. They've entered into a dumb fuck world. It's like, so you're a Christian? Yep. Is Jesus woke? Yep. Do you like woke? Nope. So you don't like Jesus. And I promise you, they'll if you ask them that question, that's what they would do. Freeze. Because logic can't compute. I just gave you 1 + 1 = 2. They sitting there like, carry the 3, divide that by 7. What does man just say to me? I pass on that one. What's the next question? They stupid, yo. They stupid. Thank you. Oh, appreciate it. Who's that? 5 Alarm Fire. Thank you. It's so big. How the fuck is it Democrats' fault when GOP owns the House, the Senate, and the White House? Trump has his hand so far. Mike Johnson, he's a ventriloquist. 100%. How do you do this? I mean, the mind twist. It's like, dude, it's their fault. Even when the government has literally said, the courts, 2 federal judges have said, give them this money. He sends out, and he lied to them saying, if the courts say to do it, I would do it. 2 judges say, release it. And his first thing is to send out a truth saying, how do I release it? Do you want me to release it like the other 2 places that I released it to? Without taking it to court? I'd have to take it to court to give it to ICE and the military and to other departments. I didn't have to go to court for that. But now that I'm going to court, do I do it the same way? I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. It's baffling that these people are still stuck on him. You got to realize, if you're still stuck on Trump while he's stabbing you in the back, you got to ask yourself why you stuck with him. Why would you be with somebody who's abusing you? I know many of you would say, if my spouse or, husband or wife beat me, I would leave. There's no way I would stay with them. Donald Trump has been beating the absolute crap out of y'all. And y'all just look up, can I have another, sir? I mean, he's taking hundreds of millions of dollars out of y'all pocket. I mean, it's been sad. He's promised you shit he's never going to give you. His history shows he asks people to build all kinds of things for him, and he never pays them what they're worth. Many, if not thousands, I know hundreds of businesses have worked with this man, have gone broke because he didn't pay them. He promised you he's going to build a wall and Mexico is going to pay for it. The president of Mexico literally said, fuck that shit. And I mean, he literally cussed and said, fuck no, we ain't paying for that shit. And you still believed him. The actual president said it at the time. We ain't paying for that shit. And that chant stuck in their heads, even to this day. Oftentimes we believe that we're all the same, but we're not. Many of us were dealt good cards. Many of us in a card game were dealt marbles. You'd be like, what am I gonna do with this? Don't know numbers on this. That's because you're not in the game. You're on the sidelines because we can't trust your ass with the cards because you can't count and you can't read. Why do you need cards? Go over there and shoot them little things over there. Be happy shooting in the corner. You ain't got to count nothing. No real rules. Just thumb it. That slow. And that's what some of these people are like. That slow, yo. And you're like, why do you even vote? I mean, you don't even know what you're voting for. You vote your feelings. See, your feelings are misguided. This man made you feel a certain way, and now your pockets are empty. Just saying. Next time, maybe you should pay attention to what the person you elect has done in their life, not what they've said they've done. You wanted a businessman, and we kept telling you the government's not a business, and you don't want it run like a business. And you guys kept on saying, well, businessmen will know how to do this and be able to balance a budget, blah, 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 blah. I said, no, a businessman that's seeking out money, that's greedy with capitalism, he's looking to sell you down the river for a buck. But you didn't see that. You thought he was going to give you something. I'm like, when has he ever given anybody anything? This man don't even hug his kids. How the hell you think he care about you? He loves us. No, he wants your vote. All right. And what is he doing? The farms are going away. You're losing money by the day. The things that you wanted to fight for, Epstein files, he's hiding them. And then he tells you they don't like pedophiles. We find out that Donald Trump was the worst pedophile in American history that we know of, right? Is Donald Trump's friend for 15 years. Best buds. Dancing together. He invited him to the wedding. Donald Trump has been to all of his places except for the mansion, except for the island. I don't think he said he went there. At least he wasn't on the flight loss. He might have flew his own plane. It's talking to a brick, yo. So I'm about to leave that alone. I know it's talking to a brick, because they don't get it. They just do not get it. So hopefully one day we can get people in office that give a damn about the people, that know the people, and don't care about all this political bullshit. I mean, it's just nonsense. I mean, I'm getting sick of just a party line shit altogether. It's like, why don't y'all think about what's best for the people? And if you think what's best for the people, maybe that like divining rod will put you in a position, because everybody wants the same thing. Take care of their family, living wage. They want health care, so when they get sick, they don't go broke. I mean, these things are very simple. And there's solutions to them that even the people can be a part of. If the government just invested in health care, I mean, think about it. If the government giving $400 million, I always bring this example up, to Elon Musk just so he can make those ugly ass Tesla trucks like armored, bulletproof. Never mind the fact, again, I keep on saying, never mind the fact that the damn thing will run out of gas or out of battery. And so what if they can't blow it all up real quick? They can at least, you're going to stop eventually when they in a gas vehicle. They're going to catch up with you. You'll get out and put in another battery. I mean, it's just $400 million. You could take that $400 million, invest in American citizens who can come up with a better way of healthcare. Why don't y'all put together a think tank or something like that, government funded, to come up with a better way? Because obviously, bringing in a bunch of politicians who can't tell the difference between their ass and a hole in the ground, trying to bring these idiots together to make something. No, why don't you bring people who are really good at healthcare and love people and put that together? And how about it be a team of 4 or 5 Republicans and 4 or 5 Democrats, and I don't know how many independents are there, but let's say 4 or 5 independent people, bring them together and say, hey, you guys handle the health care. How about that? I mean, come on. There's so much ingenuity, and you guys sit around and do the same fucking things. It brings to mind that you really don't want a solution. You're just gaslighting Americans to give you money so you guys can then wealth and give yourselves a lot of money, enriching yourselves. Because I can't fathom that I would sit here and see a problem with my way my brain works, to see a problem for 50 fucking years that hasn't been solved. That's insane. We could put a man on the moon in a matter of years. We said we're going to do it. Within a matter of years, the ingenuity of coming together to send a fucking rocket up in the air and not blow up and kill the person come back. You thought of that mathematical wizardry. But you can't think about how to get health care and be able to afford it. I call bullshit. Both independents, or all of them, independents, Democrats, and Republicans, I call bullshit. You could have been figured this shit out. You don't want to. Because if you did, you would have solved it by now. And the part they're pissed off about, these Republicans, is that President Obama finally took the step toward putting the man on the moon. And is pissed off that it was a black man that took that step, because these white men knew they could do it. They just kept lying to everybody and letting these rich people keep their money. Letting these insurance companies rob the American citizen and not give us health care worth a damn, as long as they was kicking back to the politicians, both Republican and Democrat. Obama stepped up against everybody telling him nay and made that shit happen. That's why they hate him. Not the American citizens so much. They hate him because they've been told to hate him. But these Republicans, Mitch McConnell, they hate him because he did something that they said that was too hard to do. This man came in a matter of 2 years, was able to figure something out. They said it took 50 years to even come up with an idea. Because if they really wanted it, them being Donald Trump in that debate with Kamala Harris, saying that he had concepts of a plan, should have pissed them the fuck off. You've been fucking with healthcare all this time and should have pissed them off. No Republican had a problem with it. Because they never had a plan. They still don't. Think about how bad you got to be at your job that American citizens, even your constituents, how many, boy, when you start looking at the stats of how many Republicans or poor red states have healthcare issues, have poverty issues, Kentucky, all these other places, and they're white people that are poor as shit, and their representatives are literally telling them, we're trying to get this healthcare thing together. It just can't happen. And these people are dying from black lung and all that, and they're going to like the House and Senate and not fighting for you, but coming back, we're trying. And then they got a black man that came in and said, my mom died from shit. His mom was white. My mom died from, she didn't have this, she didn't have that. I don't want anybody's family to die like that anymore. Boom, comes up with healthcare. How can you hate a person that loved on you? It takes a special kind of hate, a special type of idiocy to see a man that tried to save your life. Because of Obama, many of you racist white people are still on this earth today because you got the care that you needed when you found out you had cancer. Because that kid was able to stay on your insurance while they was going to school, that your daughter's still alive because whatever she had, she could be taken care of because she was on your health care till she was 26. That is the man you should be thanking for it. And instead, you got hate in your heart because it's called Obamacare. By racist white people that gave it that name. He called it the Affordable Care Act. He's not vain. That name was put on it so that you would hate it. Even though it saved Meemaw and your dad and your daughter's life, you pissed off because a black man saved you and a white man said, fuck you. The white man that you sent to help you is consistently saying, fuck you. And because his skin is the same color, you got love for him. And that black man had more love for you in his pinky than your whole fucking generation has in its body. That's what pisses you off. You just don't know it yet. You ain't smart enough to catch up. But we see it. All right. We're about to get up out of here. I done had this idiot sit here long enough for me not to have him right beside me as I speak. But that's just the truth. Showing love to even hateful people, they can't see it. It can't penetrate them because their hate is insoluble. Love can't seep through that hate. It's just solid. Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I understand that one. I never understood why white people never saw the white side of Obama. I say it all the time. He's mixed. And the thing I like about Obama, he knows where he is and where he comes from. He doesn't deny his white side at all. You know what I'm saying? But he knows in this country what it wraps up to be. You know, it's gonna be that way no matter what. When a cop pulls him over, they're gonna say, "Oh, look at that mixed guy." It ain't gonna be happening. He knows in society we have, and hopefully a bunch of these children who are mixed, you know, they will be able to hopefully kind of shift that a little bit, and the people who aren't mixed will be able to shift that to the point where it's, you know, you represent all aspects of yourself. But the way this country works, they don't see it. They saw a black man and they was pissed off at this black man. But this black man is the reason why many of us are still alive. And again, that healthcare had a problem at the very beginning. That $1,500, if you couldn't afford the healthcare, especially when it first started, oh, that was hell, yo. That was hell. But again, nobody said nobody's perfect, but he set it up so that we could have a better life. And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, my best doctor in my life came through ACA. I had healthcare that cost a shit ton of money when I was in the industry and was making all this money doing stuff. I just thought it was, oh, pay all this money and you have the best premium. And my doctors was like, you here? When they let the Negro in? You got this kind of money? I'm like, that's the way I got treated. And they didn't say that, but that's the way I got treated. And then also I had doctors. It was shocking to me. They was charging all this money and being in this big time healthcare thing, charging all this money and was very mediocre doctors. I never had my doctor when I was paying this high ass insurance and had the money to do all this stuff. I never had one doctor like hit me up and be like, hey, how's it going? You know, not just out of anywhere. I'm talking about like just like on a computer system or whatever, and just hit me up and say, you know, we have your doctor things or your appointments coming up in a month, blah, blah, blah. How's it going? Everything good with you? And you should be like, yeah, I'm good. Are you okay? You know what I'm saying? Thinking you got a problem to call me. It just shocked me. And I'm like, I spend way less than I did when I had the premium health insurance, and I have better doctors, more human side doctors, not people who just send you off and shit. Like, oh, what is it? You got? What's going on? Oh, we only had 10 minutes. What you got? What you got? It's hurting right here. Oh, okay, take some aspirin. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you next week. See you next month. Whatever the hell it was. See you next year. And I'm like, damn, it was so rough. And so I ain't got nothing but praise about the ACA. Till Donald Trump comes in, the shit's about to double. But hey, that's why we fight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to get up out of here. I got to get going. I got another show on TikTok, music, if you like old school music. Much love to y'all. Appreciate you. All my members, I appreciate every last one of you. You know who you are. I'll see you on Monday around the same time. Hopefully we got some good news. Try to come up with some more solution stuff. Go to Avid Solutionist on TikTok. Follow me there. I haven't put any video up yet because I'm still building the Avid Solutionist. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about solutions and things of that nature, you know, the positive things. Solution with politics, solution in life, all that. It's just, I find zen and happiness and joy in that. And this, I feel like I have to do because I can't stand lies. And you got to be, at some time in your life, you got to be the light in the midst of the dark. And I choose to do that. All right. I could run away from it, but it's also my calling. So I follow both of them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week. Much love. See you when I see you.